It's the Mystery Science Theater 3000 Season 10 Countdown, the final beginning. Hey, I'm back, and I wanted to count down the very last season of Mystery Science Theater. Well, it was a good run. It was 1988, where they started on KTMA and got the big thumbs up from the Comedy Channel, and became a cable show on the Comedy Channel in '89, and then the merger with Comedy Central, then it became Comedy Central, and ran through '97, and then '97 they picked it up on Sci-Fi, and unfortunately 3 seasons later they kind of dropped the show. Oh well, fuck you, Sci-Fi Channel. Well, at least you're enjoying those little giant lizard movies and giant snake movies that you're just doing so great with. I'm glad you're just spending all the money on those things instead of Mystery Science Theater, but hey, whatever. Here it is. It's 13 episodes in the last season. Not so bad, and I'm just going to get going with my favorites. Number 13 is Diabolic, the best film they ever did, bar none. Number 12 is Hamlet, the best story they've ever done. Unfortunately, it's a bad version of it. Number 11 is Final Justice. Number 10 is Boggy Creek 2. Number 9 is It Lives at Night, also known as The Bat People. Don't be fooled by this film. It sucks. Number 8 is Horrors on Spider Island. It's not as exciting as it makes it out to be. Number 7 is Track of the Moon Beast. I like that title. It's got a nice kind of rhythm to it. Number 6 is The Girl in the Gold Boots, which is a non-sci-fi film, which everybody in the film feels like they have a layer of oil on them. It's that kind of grimy kind of looking movie. Number 5 is Future War, and it's a ripoff of every movie you've ever seen. It's a cheap movie from the mid-90s, and it's about a kickboxer from the future who fights cyborgs and dinosaurs with the help of a nun who used to be a prostitute, and street gangers or something like that. It's not as good as it sounds, and they just have a lot of fun. It's very cheap. It's so cheap. They even have a guy who shows up with camera crew for a newscast, and the camera is obviously a box. I can't believe that. That is Monster or Go-Go cheap. Number 4 is Soul Taker, and you know what? Fuck the movie. This episode has a reunion. It's Joel and Frank show up in the host segments. According to the plot of the episode, Dr. Forrester, the original Dr. Forrester, Clayton, I guess he had a contingency plan. If this wasn't working in 10 years, the satellite was going to go down and explode and stuff like that after a series of malfunctions. Joel finds this out and comes to fix the ship. And also Frank stops by as a soul taker. And guy's got to work. And it's a lot of fun. There's no awkwardness in the reunion. And that's one of the things I like about the show. I always felt like that cast and crew were friends. And it really does show when they do get together again. Blood Waters of Dr. Z, also known as Zapped, which is, by the way, last time I checked, is number 1 on IMDb's worst movies of all time, and boy does it deserve it. It is about a scientist, an evil mad scientist, who decides to get revenge on those who wronged him, blah blah blah, and take over the universe. By the way, he says universe, not the world, by becoming a catfish monster, which, I don't know, I never considered catfish monster. I never, whenever you think about monsters to mutate to create an army of unstoppable supermen, catfish is way down on the list as far as, genetic codes you're going to take. The narration is also just terrific. Squirm is another 70s film. A lot of 70s movies, and that's just terrific. The 70s was a great decade for film, but there was also a huge amount of shitty movies made during that time, and Squirm is one of them. It's a horror film about a guy who, I guess he's trying to speed up the worm farming process, and he ends up making them angrier and stronger, and they start eating people. I don't know. But it's kind of a dumb movie, and it does try harder than some of these others. And I do admire the fact that dweebs are the lead heroes. The guy, his girlfriend, her sister are kind of dorks, and I don't know. That's kind of fun, but it's a lot of fun to make fun of too. And my pick for number 1 of the last season, it's Merlin's Shop of Mystical Wonders. Why? Because it is a journey into sprinkles and puppy dogs and frou-frou folly and lovey cupcakes of hatred and death and burning cats and dead dogs. I don't know what is going on in this movie. There's a level of frustration I can tell from the director, because it is pieced together. It is literally pieced together. I checked this out from 2 movies he's directed. He made the first half of the movie he made recently. Well, I mean, for this version of the film, and the second half was part of a movie called The Devil's Paw or something like that, or something like The Devil's Hand, which he had made in 1980, and he just sort of kind of edited them together to look like one film. And basically it's about Merlin, who decides to inspire people with magic again. I don't know, by selling them crap that could kill them. Yeah, that'll inspire me. I'll believe in magic, so I don't die. But I want to just hate this movie so much. It's so awful, and it thinks it's clever. It's one of those kind of bad movies that just thinks it's so brilliant and so smart, and it's really, really dumb. And God, Mike and the Bots, they just beat on this movie and beat on this movie, and I could watch it over and over again. It's just a lot of fun. Now, Lindsay's pick. What did she choose for the last season? The Girl in Gold Boots. That is a big favorite of hers. She watches it over and over again. And it's one of those movies that has like a 45-year-old playing a teenager. There's a lot of bad dancing. The music numbers are very funny, and one of the funniest sketches is Mike making fun of a beautiful guitar solo in song done in the middle of the movie. And God, it's just, I mean, it comes right after that scene too, and it's just so well done and smartly written. And let's see, there's the teleporting scene, and oh God, I just could go on and on. The stupid montage when they drive into LA, and there's a shot of a building. It's like, oh hey, it's a building. Oh yeah, it's got to be LA. And it's just an amazingly bad movie, and that's a great recommendation too. And it could have easily been my top. Actually, anything from 11 down could have been number 1. I mean, a lot of these films were just amazing. Season 10, all in all, got 2 minutes, good. Season 10 was a great season to go out on. Unlike a lot of comedy shows, Mystery Science Theater never got bad. It just never, the quality never left the show. It never got old, it never got stale. The actors, the performers always enjoyed being on the show. I am still greatly affected by the show, and I'm sorry it left. My only quibble is the last episode, Diabolic, isn't as funny. Maybe it's because they chose a really good movie. I mean, I actually do like Diabolic, and I would even recommend it without watching it with Mystery Science Theater. I think it's a really smart, clever kind of film. The biggest problem with the movie, though, is there's no plot, and they do have a lot of fun making fun of that. So at least they've made fun of the right things in it. But the last scene in the last episode is just kind of touching. Let me just say that. With Mike and the Bots, after everything is over, it's really nicely done. I'll give this season 5 Ram chips. I think it was just wonderful. And I'm going to do more Mystery Science Theater videos. I'm going to be reviewing the box sets. This will be next on my next Mystery Science Theater video. And until then, always believe in magic, or I'll kill you.